Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has just dropped an absolute bombshell. You see, he just signed a brand new presidential memorandum into law, and I'll be honest with you, this changes everything. This new executive action is a full-blown offensive aimed directly at one of the Democrats' dirtiest weapons: foreign money used to influence American politics, funneled into progressive organizations like ActBlue. Now, if you've never heard of ActBlue, let me catch you up real quick. ActBlue is pretty much the backbone of Democrat fundraising. It's been funneling untold millions of dollars into Democrat campaigns across the country for years. And now, after multiple investigations, it's been tied to credit card fraud, straw donor scams, and even laundering foreign money into numerous Democrat political campaigns. And if you don't believe me, take a look at what Elon Musk himself had to say about all this.
Well, I will say if ActBlue and Arabella Networks...
ActBlue is a huge scam, next level.
Do you think it's foreign money, Chinese money? Where do you think the money in ActBlue is coming from? And how do you figure that out?
Well, it's not coming from from a whole bunch of, from a groundswell of public support. Yeah. Because when individual donors are looked at in ActBlue, a bunch of them turn out to be like diehard Republicans,
right? People
that have never given money in their life. So you're going to track down a bunch of these people where it says, "Oh, I gave $16,000," and they're like, "I didn't give $16,000. What are you talking about?"
Well, if those
Republican friends of mine found themselves on the ActBlue list, and they're like, "It definitely wasn't me." So that's
if it can actually be shown that they are funding firebombing of Tesla charging stations. That's objectively a criminal act. That is funding terrorist activity, yeah. and the statutes make clear that an incendiary device qualifies. So that's a big deal.
Is a terrorist activity. Yeah.
So, folks, did you hear all of that? Just to recap, foreign money funneled through ActBlue is being used to fund domestic terrorism. This isn't just about illegal fundraising anymore. This is about national security. And so that is exactly why President Trump's new presidential memorandum is so important. What it does is direct the Department of Justice to finally go after these foreign contribution violations with everything they've got. For the first time in years, legal accountability is back on the table. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why is this only now just happening? Well, because for decades now, we've been effectively ruled by globalists who didn't give one damn about foreign influence. Why? Because they were the ones benefiting from it. For years now, billionaires like George Soros have been flooding the American political system with foreign cash in order to influence our U.S. elections. And so what did the Democrats do in response? Well, they turned a blind eye. In fact, they opened the door even wider. Between ActBlue's credit card fraud and their refusal to support voter ID laws, it's very clear the Democrats are trying to rig the system in every single way possible. Now, I want you all to take a look at what Republican House Representative Comer, who serves on the House Oversight Committee, recently had to say about all of ActBlue's illegal antics.
But I'm very confident that the Oversight Committee will be allowed in to view those suspicious activity reports. And the fact that there are so many shows that the banks were suspicious of a lot of activity. And what we believe is what's been reported and suggested on a lot of conservative channels over the years is that this money wasn't actually coming from John Doe and Jane Doe sitting at home donating $10 every week to every Democrat candidate running for every office in America. We always suspected that there was an influx of cash coming in from other ways. And the way ActBlue set up their account, it would be very easy to launder money into there through fake credit card accounts and fake names and things like that. So the banks, by virtue of catching so many violations from so many different banks, which would suggest to me these were credit cards, I think that we're going to be able to find out where the source of a lot of this money was coming from.
And so all of that, ladies and gentlemen, is why President Trump's new memorandum is so important. First, it mandates complete and total transparency. Every single campaign dollar now has to be clean, traceable, and also American. Second, it targets straw donor schemes where fake names and fraudulent donations are used to disguise foreign contributions. And third, it blocks non-citizen participation in the electoral process altogether, something that really should have been done a very long time ago. And listen, let's just be honest here. If you need to be pumped up with foreign money in order to win an election here in America, you have no business holding an elected office. But as you all know, here's the truth. The Democrats, despite their name, don't even care about democracy. No, they only care about power. And if that means accepting dirty money from China or Russia or whoever else is willing to cut them a check, then so be it. And so, folks, that is why the America First agenda is so important, because no one else has been willing to take on all of these globalist parasites. President Trump has shut down the border, he's fighting for voter ID, and now he's cutting off the foreign money pipeline that's been buying and selling our elections for years. That is what leadership looks like. And on top of all of that, this new memorandum has overwhelming support from Americans across the country. And the reason why is because pretty much everyone agrees there's way too much money in our political system, and the first logical step towards fixing that is cutting off all of the foreign money entering our country. This is about restoring integrity to the system, making sure the people, not foreign governments or foreign billionaires, decide who get to lead the American people. And once again, let's not forget, Act Blue has already been directly tied to various forms of criminal activity, domestic terrorist funding, and election interference. They're not just complicit, they're central to the entire operation. And so now President Trump has cut them off at the knees, and they're now under federal investigation. And so, folks, here's the bottom line. The American people are sick and tired of watching our elections get hijacked by dark money, dirty money, and worst of all, foreign influence. And with this latest election, President Trump has made it crystal clear that era is coming to an end. We are now living in the era of America First, and that is exactly what we all voted for. Now, folks, before we wrap up with today's video, I want to say real quick that I've actually gone ahead and made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates as it relates to all of this. So if you guys use Facebook, check out the pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there. As I said earlier, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton with my daily struggle here on YouTube. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.